But I'm gonna fuck around and make my whole fucking album distorted, and they gonna be like that boy edgy as fuck. Yeah, fuck. TCAP 803.
Coming heavy with the weight and feel. Wonder if the hoes in Jesus' handheld. Give a fuck how a man feel. Whole world at a standstill, stigmatized. Donald Trump, they will not criticize. Still question Obama like my nigga lied. White girls used to sell my nigga ride. Out here switching sides. Costing shit to mind the window cause they living blind. And they soul not showing. I swear my flow how potent. How these hoes got open and you know Pop's joking. If he expect forgiveness, I'm wondering your seven victim house free of heaven's prison. These are split decisions. And I think I give the misses what I give the masses. My whole all there no walls. I ain't kissing asses the shit and I don't stop. Don't stop. She ain't bars the end and she won't call her. You didn't see it coming. People are screaming, running, baby like babies. Why they need enough to drive horsepower. Steve's punching, smoking weed, I'm blunting. Notice these is stunning, ain't me like Jesus function. Eating knowledge, I got key consumption. Super Saiyan wanna be. I eat a peanut butter with your family, they ugly. You can keep your cousin, most people puzzling. You want my time is about an hour and I need 100. I see your shit and see it sunken. Missing me, she keep on cutting. She a keeper, love it, hot box, a beaming bucket. My demon, she seen a sucker. She bring me, need me, so fucking here for long haul. Press hold to God calls.
Happy Saturday, Creighton,
Oh, shit.
the Henson Qatar.
Hello.
Are you good, bro?
Yeah.
Sound
happy
like you broke
Saturday.
something.
No, it's good.
Are you sure, dude?
Pretty sure. Yeah, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
First of all,
Hello.
we almost sang happy birthday for Isaiah, but we ended up not because it's a
It's-
week early, you turkey bastard.
Well, he's someone that's eating birthday cake a week early, so. And I saw it on his Facebook, so I
Bitch.
figured, maybe today was the day.
We've got a special weather update today.
We do.
It's for a place that, it really isn't that special other than it's a place I've always wanted to go, and that is Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, hey, that's where Woody Wilcox broadcasts from sometimes.
It's where their show is broadcasted from. They
Yes.
themselves do not broadcast from Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes.
Creighton. And they broadcast all over the country, you turkey.
Yeah. What's up?
Anyway, the weather in Anchorage, Alaska today is 53 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cloudy. Precipitation was 7%. The humidity was only 59%. It's actually pretty low.
Well, it's Alaska.
What does that have to do with anything? It's Alaska.
It's Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska's huge.
No, I know. But the humidity is really low up there 'cause it's so cold all the time.
That's not how humidity.
Nope, that's how it works.
That's not what that means.
No, but that is what it means.
So every time we do the weather, what I do is I have the index of U.S. counties,
Yes.
Wikipedia,
And
as a note on our Google note or on our Discord notes, and what I do is I click the index, I find the most recent not highlighted county on the A's, which means so the way that I keep it categorized where I don't forget what the last one was is I click on each one and go to its separate page. And when I clicked Anchorage, the Anchorage, what's the word? The little here's what Anchorage, Alaska is on
Yes.
Wikipedia is 6 times longer than all the other states I've ever looked at so
Why?
far. It's just a giant amount of information.
yeah.
And I'm kind
Well,
of
it's a pretty popular place. I mean, it's a big city for that state, you know.
Anchorage is a united municipal consolidated city borough in the U.S. state of Alaska on the west coast of the United States with an estimated 288,000 residents. In 2019, it is Alaska's most populous city and contains 39.37% of the state's population. Among the 50 states, only New York has a higher percentage of residents who live in its most populous city. The Anchorage metropolitan area, which includes Anchorage and its neighboring... Wait, hold on. Among the 50 states, only New York has a higher percentage of residents who live in its most populous city. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
Out of all... Really?
What is it?
So what that means is,
Per square foot?
no, most populous. So, 39% of the entire state's population
Live in Anchorage.
live in Anchorage, of all of Alaska.
Well, that makes sense though.
yeah, but it's saying the only other state is New York that has the same.
Because New York,
I
while
mean,
it
what
is
about-
a livable place, New York, the city, is fucking massive.
Yeah, but what about LA? Well, no, I guess LA County. I'm thinking that's a county, not a city. LA County has like 20 million residents, and
Yeah.
there's like 40 million people in Cali. So I was gonna say that's 50%, but that's the county, not the city. That's what that
Yeah.
fucked me up in the head a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. You know,
Yeah, no, I mean I definitely.
'cause,
No,
like,
it
I
makes
think-
sense to me once I think about it in those terms.
I think New York is one of those places where like one of the most populated outside of like probably some Asian cities is like one of the most populated places in our country.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of big cities that are like hot spots in terms of population for
I
the
know,
country.
but
Like,
New
there's
York's like one of
most
the
of the big-
oldest and the like biggest.
Yeah, most of the big cities in America have like a bigger population than most of the like western states.
Yeah.
Like aside from the ones on the coast, like all those like block states, like the Wisconsins and the North Dakotas and all that shit. Like
Yeah.
most U.S. cities, even like small cities, like I bet you the population of Charlotte is more than a lot of states.
Yeah. Or a lot
Like,
of
hold on.
counties out that way.
Yeah, like hold on, what's the? No, a lot of states,
Yeah.
like whole states. Hold on, what's the population of Charlotte? Population. Let's see. Now I'm curious. Yeah, 2 million people in Charlotte. So, like that live there. So yeah, there's no way, like half of those states only have hundreds of thousands of people in the whole state, let
Yeah.
alone like the whole, like in counties or cities.
Yeah.
Because Alaska, if 288,000 is only 40%, that means they have like 600,000 people in all of Alaska. Yo, let's go to Alaska. There's no one there. It's huge.
We'll just bring all the people in with us.
I wonder if they have good internet in Alaska. You think?
I don't know.
How dope would it be to have like a cabin?
We'd have to fly everywhere though. Apparently, like a lot of like small planes is the way to get around 'cause they don't have roads up there.
Bro,
And
even
everything's
better.
expensive as fuck up there.
Yeah, but we got money.
What?
The government just throws money at you if you live in Alaska.
No.
Yeah.
Do they for real?
Yeah, most like a lot of residents in Alaska just get money. Like depending on where you live, like you have to live on certain lands.
Mm.
Charlie, every time I see your face, I get the primal urge to slowly take off my clothes and abuse my. Okay. Words. Those are words. Can you see those words?
I can see some of them.
Okay. I'm not gonna say what they all say, but they were said anyway. You did something pretty hilarious today.
Oh yeah, I woke up and I was bored 'cause I didn't have anything to do, so I was like, what can I do today? And I remember like I've really wanted to watch Waco for a while
I wonder why.
because it's good.
Well, I mean, like I told you about it.
No, I saw it before you told me about it. 'Cause I saw it, like, how Netflix, whenever it first got on Netflix, and it was like one of those promo things, wherever, like, whenever you first open up and it plays.
But what I mean is, I was talking about it like for a
When?
while, like when it came out on Netflix and I watched
I
it.
guess, yeah. Anyways, my point is, regardless of the reason I watched it, like, I watched all of it today. And it's
Literally the
like-
whole show,
It's 7
episode 1 to
episodes.
episode whatever.
It's 7-hour episode, or not 7-hour episodes. It's 7-hour-long episodes each.
Yeah.
1 hour long episodes each. So I started watching it probably about like 12 or 1 and finished at 8 and then came to Charlie's house. And my eyes hurt so bad. 'Cause I've just like fucking, is that a fucking head? Says Tim.
That is a head. Yes. That is Clyde. How dare you interrupt Creighton?
But yes. So anyways, my eyes hurt and like, I haven't really ate anything, so it's just it was
Eaten.
so
You
good.
haven't eaten anything.
No, it's not the right. Anyways, bad streamer didn't.
Shut the fuck up, Tim. Shut up. You're bad. You're a bad mod. idiot.
But it was good. Like the acting
is-
in it is amazing.
the acting
What's
is,
his name? That plays like the negotiator. He's in like
Oh, you mean the
He's in-
negotiator in the show?
Yeah,
I thought you
he's-
meant the negotiator, like the movie. I was like,
no, no.
Samuel L. Jackson
He-
isn't in
he's-
Waco.
he's in
Yeah, Michael Shannon. He plays Zod in Man of Steel.
Yeah. That's actually the reference I was going for. Like I've always, like, I don't even know how to put it. Like, you know how we had that conversation a while ago about like actors that impress me. You know what I mean? As far as
Yeah.
like just doing roles that I like couldn't see him in. Every role that I've ever seen him in, it's always been like, okay, I know that guy.
He's a fucking
But
phenomenal
this is the
actor.
role that broke that mold for me. That was like, oh, it's this guy. You know what I mean? At first, I was like, oh, it's this guy. But then it's like,
you watch it.
I watched it and
Yeah.
I was like, he disappeared into the role for me. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't him anymore.
See,
it
for
was
me,
this
it's the other way
guy.
around. For me, he disappeared into like Zod. He disappeared into the guy from Shape of Water. Like, he's one of those actors.
See, I haven't
he
seen
is-
Shape of Water.
It's really good. He's truly like a chameleon
Yeah,
in the like he really is one of those actors that like
and I bought
falls
him as
into
Zod,
into his
but it wasn't like it wasn't like I looked at him and it's like, oh, it's not that guy. It was definitely still to me like, oh, this guy's Zod, and he didn't do a bad job. That's not. This
I know
isn't-
what you
none
mean.
of this is to like harp on the guy's acting. I think he's fucking an amazing actor. It's just it's like we had that conversation a while ago. Like there's some actors that I'm like I could see them in a role and they just fucking disappear to me. Like they're no longer that actor. They're that person.
yeah
And for me, today seeing him in that role was that for me.
yeah like for like there's some actors that when you see them in something like when you watch, I'm trying to think of a good example, like Will Ferrell in any of his movies, like any Will Ferrell comedy, it's like that's just Will Ferrell playing a jokey character.
Yeah, I get
But
what
like
you're
you have a guy like Michael Shannon, the guy who plays Zod, the guy we're talking about, and he, for me, he's one of those guys that I've never watched him in a movie and been like, that's Michael Shannon.
saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always like he's whoever the fuck he's playing
Or-
right now.
Or
Like,
I
he
forgot
just
about
falls
this,
into
but
all of
he's
them.
also in Knives Out too.
Yeah, he's in Knives Out. He's in.
But even then, I was still kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's Michael Shannon playing.
yeah,
the
he's
guy
in a lot of
Knives
stuff.
Out.
He's
Which
in. He's in Loving. He's in.
Yeah.
Shit. He's in a cop movie with Andrew Garfield,
yeah.
or not a cop movie, something else.
The guy who played David, what's his name? I can't remember.
He was the Red Ranger in the Power Ranger movie.
Was he? The guy that plays like the cult, not the
Yep.
cult leader, but the
No, the cult leader.
is he a cult leader? I mean, because
Yeah,
like
it's a cult.
technically speaking,
Yeah, that's a cult.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, the show. If you haven't seen the show, we're talking about Waco.
yeah,
It's based on a situation in Waco, Texas, where the Branch Davidians, excuse me, the Branch Davidians, a cult in Waco, Texas, were attacked by ATF, and there was a 51 day standoff.
They ended
because
with the
it-
compound burning down.
Yes, well, don't say any of that. Don't say. Just hold on.
Well, that's the fact.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sad. Don't want
Okay,
to
go
spoil
ahead,
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
People might want to watch it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna describe the beginning.
Okay.
The reason it lasts so long is because there's a shootout at the very beginning that has deaths on both sides. So it's like immediately off to a negative start where no one really knows
How it's gonna go.
how it's gonna go, and like you're told the story by perspectives of both sides, and it is a phenomenal show. It's a miniseries. Have I seen Elon's tweet? The Call of Booty one? Is that the one you're talking about? Very good tweet. I agree. Elon Musk says something like, have you guys ever played Call of Booty? Like talking shit on Call of Duty,
really?
I guess. Yeah, I think that's, I don't know if that's the one they're talking about. Si, senor? Okay, there it is. Yeah, the thing that's cool about the show is that it's trying to bring up, like, what happened. Because we don't
Yeah.
really know what happened.
And it's
Like,
kinda-
at the end of by the end of the show, it's, so I don't want to spoil it.
yeah.
People do die, and crazy shit happens. It's told from the point of view
From both
from both sides,
negotiator,
from the negotiator and from
the
like
cult
people
leader,
who survived the whole thing.
the
Well,
cult-
no, I mean like literally.
Well,
it's
I
based
was-
on
I was
books
just-
written by
I
both
know,
sides.
But I'm listing the people whose perspectives you get to see.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't
The
mean-
no, because
I mean, they want to know.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we can only assume so much is correct. So much of it
Yeah,
is
I'm
real.
not saying like what events. I'm telling the people like whose perspective. that
Yeah,
you
but they
get
don't
to
even
see.
know any of it, so it
The
doesn't
people
matter.
that survived. I mean, because like you have.
Yeah, but you see
have the
you see other
negotiators'
perspectives. You see other
perspective,
perspectives too. Though is what
The
I'm saying.
guy whose
You're not-
mom was talking to him.
I know. What I'm saying is like the whole time you're watching the show, it's kind of hard to. When I go into shows that are based on true things,
Yeah.
like real events, I'm wondering, okay, how do I know what I'm watching is accurate?
Mhm.
And when you're watching it, you have to. Sadly, the opening credits will spoil the show for you a little bit if you're like really observant, because they tell you what the book is based on, and in doing so, who the books are about and who the authors are, and you're like, oh, well, okay, then I'm not worried about that guy. Which I guess is a spoiler in and of itself, because you'll just pay attention to that. But oh well, sorry. But God damn it. But when you're watching the show or any show or movie like that, the whole time I'm like, okay, how much like artistic liberty are they taking with this and trying to make it entertaining, and how much of it's true? Because with a lot of movies and a lot of shows like The Big Short, which is a very funny, very real movie about the housing crisis, like you watch that and you're like, okay, they obviously took a lot of liberties to make this a good, entertaining movie, but the things that happen, there's no reason to lie about, so I'm not really worried. In Waco's case, there are a lot of reasons for both sides to lie, and it makes it really hard to paint an accurate story of what might have gone down. When was that? In 90-something?
92.
92.
93.
93, yeah. So you're talking 27 years ago.
But, I mean, you also have what we do know. You know what I mean? Like the facts about it.
I mean, yeah, we do have we do have facts.
The facts that, you know, regardless of who shot first, the shooting did occur. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, yeah.
People died on both sides.
People died on both sides.
ATF was involved. They were involved.
Well, so
the thing that happens at the end with, like, you know, the whole compound and everything. But everything in between's the, like, what if or what if.
The guy on the Branch Davidian side, the big dude that ends up getting, you know, the big guy with the beard that kills all those ATF soldiers?
Yeah.
When I was watching the show, I realized that they either, one, martyred him so that he wasn't, like, so that other people weren't going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, that may have survived. Or two, because he kills them in the show, and for that to be accurate, he would have had to confess.
Well, did you do any research on
I didn't do any research. I just watched the show.
Oh.
This one, no, that's what I'm saying, though. That's me assuming based on how the story was told.
Yeah.
When I watch any movies like that, like, do you have another movie or show like that, like, that's a real story that you watch and you're like...
The O.J. trial show? That's the only thing I could think of that was similar, you know?
Yeah, I only watched that one. I only watched 2 episodes, I think.
I've seen all of that.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, and that's kind of like a more clear picture because there was definitely more survivors on both sides. Like, you can kind of tell they try to keep it as close to the facts as possible. But with Waco, like, on the one hand, you got, like, this guy that's a cult leader who has all these wives and stuff. And potentially, like, you know, some of them were underage.
Yeah.
But had the consent of the parents.
Yeah. The show, what it's about...
Not that I'm trying to, like,
the
justify
cult,
it.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
I understand.
yeah.
I understand. In the show, the Branch Davidians, the cult in Waco, the cult is that David is like it's named the Branch Davidians because his name is David, and they're assuming that he is the Lamb of God, he is the new Messiah, and in their group,
he doesn't believe he's the Messiah though. Like there's claims like they have gone on record saying like he never called himself the Messiah.
He didn't, but everyone else did. That's what the cult is about, is what I mean.
Yeah.
The cult is the understanding that they all believe it's him. And to be in the cult and be a man, you have to willingly let David be you all have to be celibate. David is the only one who takes on the burden of having sex with all the women and having children. Excuse me. And it's wacky. The thing that's crazy to me, not crazy, I guess. The thing that makes me think it's realistic is that if you take David objectively and take all the characters of that show objectively and explain them on paper, it's a fucked up, weird cult.
Yes.
But when you watch the show and you understand that the book is, or that the show is based on both sides. The guy who's the negotiator writes a book about everything that happened.
Yeah.
The other guy who's part of ATF writes a book about everything that happened, or with the FBI rather.
Yeah.
Um,
And then a survivor wrote a book.
and then a survivor. Well, so he writes a book, but like a bunch of the other survivors also had parts in the book. Is like what is the understanding?
Yeah.
So you have the story told in two different books by both sides that this is all based on, and excuse me, and you're watching the show and they want you to understand that this, while these people are in a cult, they're not like, one, they're not weird or crazy,
Yeah. They fully
and two,
believe.
they don't even make David out to be like a firm, like bad guy character.
Yeah.
Like he's off, and you kind of don't like him, but you definitely relate to him, and you also do
Yeah.
like him a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. There's things
It's
that
hard-
he does that it's like you
Yeah.
can see why these people like see him as he is, as like a
Exactly.
hero, as like a leader.
Exactly.
Because he definitely does a good job, or the movie does a good job, or show, I mean, does a good job of showing like why these people do follow him. Like
it's
that's
more
the
like
thing
a
I
big
love
movie
about-
than a show.
yeah, that's the thing I like about it, because they take the time before all the stuff happens to really like explore what the cult is, how people join,
Yeah.
and like what these people see David
Yeah,
as.
it's like what the first whole 2 episodes are, which is pretty
it's-
awesome.
Yeah, it's been, and by the way, that's a 7-episode show, and they spend 2 whole
They-
2 hours
2 hours of the show is setting you up for who,
what's gonna happen.
like what the show, like what the people, who the people are, and what they're about.
Yeah.
Which is like supremely good storytelling,
Absolutely,
like Game of
absolutely.
Thrones level in terms of what they're establishing.
Absolutely.
Like all of season 1, Game of Thrones is 8 seasons. The
Yeah.
first 6 are 10 episodes long. The first season of Game of Thrones, like the
It's just
whole
setting you
season,
up.
is setting you up for the next 7, and it does it very well. And this show spends 2 of its 7 hours setting you up, and it does a fucking phenomenal job. It's a great watch, and it's a quick watch. It's a very easy binge. I watched that show so almost like you did. I think I watched the first 2 episodes, then I watched the other 5 all at once.
Yeah.
Iowa Anthony Charlie, if I was there, I would have hold the mic for you. Blue, I love you, Blue. That's my boy Iowa, big Iowa.
Big Iowa.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, it's like such a crazy. How do I put it? They definitely ride the line of like, is what they did here right or wrong? Because like,
Not even that. It's like, I feel like right and wrong almost isn't the point.
yeah,
It's like the fact that that could happen that way is fucked up.
yeah,
Like the whole situation, everything about all of it is fucked up, which is the worst part. Is like, if it hadn't happened in the first place, we might have another fucking Scientology on our hands. But I honestly don't think we would. Like it might have been one of those things where like they took over religiously. Nah, I'm joking, but it is, the message of the show is that the government is kind of sketchy ethically
yeah.
whenever they take action against, like,
in those kinds of situations.
in those kinds of situations, or in any situations on like compounds in America, like on our soil, like in terms of like groups, because they're quick to shut down a group here in America. Like we never hear about groups because they're always getting shut down. And this one was a cult, and it was just absolutely, the whole thing was,
It was. I feel like it wasn't handled the best way by either side.
yeah. The crazy thing is what happens in the end and what almost happens.
Yeah.
The thing that almost happens is the craziest shit ever.
Well, if
The
you
fact that
look
it
at-
didn't happen the way it was supposed to.
I did some research on it while I was watching it, just because I
Yeah.
couldn't resist. And like, what happens at the end is actually like. Can I go ahead and just say it? Because I feel
Yeah,
like I'm
fuck it. We're gonna spoil the show.
So-
So wait, hold on. Give him like 7 seconds to mute.
If you guys don't want.
If you don't want
for the show,
spoilers for this show, it's called Waco on Netflix. Mute up now,
yeah, mute
and
it now.
we'll like wave our hands at the camera like crazy sporadically whenever we're done. So go.
Okay, so I had to get into this because it's like we're not gonna be.
It's
able
gonna be
have
hard to
a-
talk
yeah,
about it,
We're
yeah.
not gonna have like be able to have an actual discussion if we can't talk about what happened. But so he did agree with the negotiator that he was gonna write a manuscript.
Yes.
That's fact.
David, the character,
Yes.
is going to write his gospel.
Yes, because
The gospel of David that he like is trying to get out to the world.
He had a sign from God.
Yep.
And he
In
was
his
like,
words.
It just give me a week. This is right at day 46
Yeah.
or 45, something like that. Give me a week. I'll get this manuscript done, and then we'll all like go home. We'll all leave the compound. We'll all I'll go to jail and everything. And he did agree to that. He was gonna, and that's what was going to happen. That's what they were waiting on. The thing that I noticed is you don't really see a lot of the negotiations that take place after what's his name is taken off the case. After the negotiator that we focus on for a long time is taken off the case. And I assume whatever happened between then and there is like the negotiations breaking down and them just deciding to go in anyway.
Yeah.
Tanks and tear gas and everything. Whether that was the right move or not, it's one of those things we wouldn't know unless we were there.
What happens at the end is they send in tanks that have tear gas deployers at the end of them, at the tips of them, and they just ride the tanks, like what would usually look like a cannon. They just ride them right into the sides of the building and deploy tear gas.
Yeah.
And then they start throwing flashbangs, and the tear gas is flammable, and the flashbangs light the tear gas and start lighting rooms on fire.
Which has happened before.
And it's happened before in many other different events. I'll get to it in a second. All of the women and children are hiding in a bunker, and one of the tanks drives right into the bunker.
And part of the roof falls
and part of the roof falls in and blocks the door, and then the tear gas is just flooding the room and like suffocating them, and it kills all the women and children. And very few people, I think like 6 people it's like a 90-person, 100-person group or something. Yeah. Like 5 or 6. By the time it's gotten to this point, there's been like 25, 30 people that have been
like
left because they're either old or
34 people.
Or 34
yeah,
who were like old. One was pregnant, I think, and then a bunch of children. Because of negotiation, they were trying to get people out little by little.
They brought the milk, and they let some of the people go. And then some people just left because they were like, "Yeah, this is."
They wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And then out of everyone else that was left, a few escaped at the very end by like jumping through windows. Very few of them though, like very few. Everyone else died in the fire.
The thing that I noticed that was a good point brought up at the end is like they know it, like that it's flammable, but they never have like a plan for the fire, or at least that's that's the way it looks.
There's throughout the course of the show, from the time that the incident starts taking place, there is a radio broadcaster that everything is being word for word told from what he said. It was it's all being transcribed from the radio telecast of the time that it went by when it was going by. I forget his name.
He's really cool too.
He was really cool. And what happened was every once in a while the show would cut to him talking about everything going down from kind of the perspective of a viewer.
Yeah.
And because it really was. It was a perspective of it happening live, day by day, week by week, month by month during the incident. And he at the end, he makes contact with them, which is the coolest part. Like he's the reason that they end up getting lawyers is because they start yes knowing through the radio, turning their flag or something that they can see, so that the radio guys can contact lawyers for them, and excuse me, and long story short, at the very end, when everything's done and the building is on fire and everybody's dead, he's saying, he's rattling off this list of groups and buildings and organizations that have been shut down and destroyed all the same way, where they tear gas, caught on fire, no survivors. Here, tear gas, caught on fire, no survivors. Here, and he does it 7 or 8 times. He's just listing all these crazy things, and that's the show finally nailing home the message of there is a lot of corruption in the way things get done when it comes to groups like this, and they don't get their fair share. They don't get the freedom of their own speech and all this other stuff. And it's a phenomenal show. And honestly, knowing that information, you should still watch it. David's second in command is phenomenal. David is phenomenal. Thibodeau is phenomenal. Played by Macaulay Culkin's little brother. Something Culkin. I forget his name. What's his name? I want to say it's I want to say it's Cillian Culk. It's like a I don't know how it's like an something A and something Culk. Anyway, he's phenomenal. Julia Garner from Ozark is phenomenal in it. Michael Shannon's phenomenal. The other FBI guy is phenomenal. The bad guy from the first season of True Detective is in it. He's phenomenal. Are they done spoiling it yet? I went to another tab. Are we done talking about it?
No, I mean,
No?
like,
Keep talking
well,
about it.
so the other thing I wanted to talk about with it too is like the way, how do I put it? The drummer guy. I can't remember his name.
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Are they? So like, have you done any research on him at all?
Not the guy. No.
Okay, so like, just I haven't done any research on it, so I have to. I'll probably come back Monday with more research on
Yeah.
it. But so the whole time this is going on, the mom for Thibodeau is trying to like get in contact with her son. She doesn't see him and everything like because this thing's going on over the course of like almost 3 months.
Yeah.
Really, well,
Well,
1.5.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. I was about to
Something like that. And finally she gets in like he sends like a videotape or something out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she ever gets it because I don't remember like exactly, but like somehow he tries to get a message to her, and like
Well, it definitely got to her.
did it?
Yeah.
I thought that
He survives. It doesn't
well,
matter if it gets to him.
the message got to her.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But like I don't think the tape itself made it to her because there was like you remember the part where they're watching a tape and the FBI director's like, no, we're not gonna like show that because it makes them look too normal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's the tape. I might be wrong though. And it's that part where he's like, it makes them look too normal to me is like,
it makes it seem like there's an agenda for sure.
yes, and like I don't know how much of that is from the book, that from the negotiator's perspective, but I mean, even if it's not, like I feel like that there was definitely that sentiment in the air because like they.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise all that stuff would definitely 100% get out.
Because it's just like the part at the very, very beginning where they're dealing with the thing in the mountains.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It's called something Ridge or whatever.
Yeah. Ruby Ridge,
Ruby Ridge.
I believe. I
Yeah.
think it's Ruby Ridge.
And like that, they do that. They kind of like frame this as like, well, they had Ruby Ridge, like kind of like that chip on their shoulder. They had to go back and like
Yeah.
they basically were looking for a reason to like go back and make it seem right.
Yeah.
And this show does like such a good job of like you don't see who shoots first, really. You know what I mean? I mean, you see the thing with the dogs, and then like
that like
shots
from
are
our
fired.
perspective, they set up a situation that would make it understandable for each side to shoot when they did.
Yeah.
But in reality, we'll never know who shot first,
Yeah.
at who,
And they
or
do a
why.
good job with that with the fire too. They don't ever like show the tear gas getting ignited. They just all of a sudden there's a fire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you see like a lantern fall at some point, and then there's the fire, but like it's claimed that it was put out.
Yeah.
So, or at least was put out in the show. So,
Yeah.
but the point that I wanted to make was like back to the fire thing. Like, why don't they have people on standby for that? If they don't, like it seems like it would be something that you would want.
corruption. It's fucking corruption, Creighton.
I
It's
mean, I
motherfucking
get that,
corruption.
but it's like, I mean, like children die,
A lot of children died.
A lot of children.
It wasn't 1 or 3
It's like
Or-
25.
or 5 or 10. It was
76
fucking.
people died and
It was
25.
25 children.
That's almost
25
one
little,
third.
not like 10-year-olds, like little kids.
Almost 1/3 of who was there in that place. Which I don't even know what it looks like today.
It's just gone.
It's just a plane now?
There's nothing there.
Not even the
Well, at
vault.
least there wasn't for a long time. At least I don't know about literally
You know,
right
I'm
now.
gonna look at the pictures for this place. Hold on.
It's a very good sad show.
Yes.
And it is very sad. That I'm not lying about. It's a very sad, devastating fucking show. It is rough. But it's good. Look like anything's there or no?
They got like something there. It looks almost like a memorial.
I wouldn't be surprised about that.
5 years, distance scar. Yeah, it looks more like a memorial than anything. And then I'm looking at the compound like as it looked like before. They got like a water. It almost, you know what it kind of reminds me of? You know that place that they took that Logan was staying in at the beginning of Logan, like down in Mexico?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. They did a really good job of kind of recapturing that. Which I don't know if they built a whole ass building for that show, but they definitely burned one down. So
They probably definitely built one too then.
yeah,
Most of the inside of that show was filmed on a set.
yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, but then the rest, like the actual building was like a whole nother place.
And then the psychological aspect of it, you know, when they're shining the lights and making the sirens and stuff, was like a whole other thing.
Dude, the fucking the show they put on, like the band at that one point,
Oh yeah,
like when that was awesome.
yeah,
Just like, 'cause it really happened.
yeah.
That's the best. There's no way you're still talking about that about this, right? Let's go ahead and get off of it so that Flynn
Okay.
can unmute.
Yeah, but it's crazy though.
Yes, you can unmute
Yeah.
now. Head ass.
So that we know for sure happened.
Yeah, that definitely happened. A lot
Okay.
stuff like that they can't lie about.
Okay.
Like literally. Yes, you can unmute now, you head ass. What, dude? We're talking about it. We're having a good time. We're stopping talking about it so you can unmute. By the way, you goddamn needy son bitch. Son bitch. I was just asking. No, it's okay, dude. We stopped just for you. Just for you. I didn't know. Well, no, now you know. Are you happy? Are you happy? Anyway, no, wait, no, I had a thing. No, it went away.
Wait, what was it?
I don't know. There was a thing in my head I wanted to talk about, and it went away because of Flint. God damn it, Flint, Michigan, water, the ocean mermaids. I wanted to talk about mermaids. Nah, I'm kidding. Could you imagine that?
Right? That's
Imagine that's how how my mind worked. No, man, what was it? I hate this. Bad podcaster.
Yeah.
I should have written it down whenever
We all knew that. Nobody was coming here
Shut,
with
Creighton,
high
Creighton,
expectations.
shut the fuck up. God damn it. I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad. Dude, what was it? I don't fuck. Have anything to talk about, Creighton? I done fucked up all of it. Dude, I hate this. I hate when I forget.
Why?
'Cause I forgot. I don't.
We were talking about Waco, and we were talking about
But then Flint.
we were talking about bands. Like, you know, was it have something to have to do with bands or vans?
I don't think so. Just talk about something. Hurry. Just bring anything up so that we can save the podcast. I feel
Oh.
terrible. I'm so mad right now.
So Charlie forgets things a lot. Let's talk about that.
How dare you.
Could be onset signs of dementia or Alzheimer's.
I hate when I forget good dreams.
Yeah.
I hate when I
That's
wake
fair.
up from like when like sometimes you'll be having a good dream and you'll be like, man, this dream's awesome. Like you know it in your head.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're like, man, that was a good dream. And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, damn, what the fuck happened while I was asleep? What was that awesome? Because the worst part is you never forget that you had a good dream. You just forget whatever the fuck the dream was. You know what I mean? Like you wake up with the knowledge of, wow, that was awesome. And then you just forget whatever it was. But you remember that it was great. That's the worst thing. It's like watching the best show ever and then just forgetting the show. Like almost, it's almost like if it was real, if it was like something canonical, it would be amazing because you could just keep watching it and forgetting how great it is and then rewatching it and seeing it for, like, imagine if you could watch The Dark Knight for the first time again. Like, bro. Or Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or anything that's like fucking awesome. Like, but these are dreams.
Yeah.
They happen once. Well, most dreams only happen once. And it's like, have you ever had a dream? Have you ever had reoccurring dreams?
Not really. I mean, sort of, yeah, in a way. Not like this. It's complicated, but no.
What do you mean?
So it's never like
complicated.
the exact same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, and it stopped about a year ago. For a long time, I was having a reoccurring dream, but every time I had it, it was a little longer, and it was like a story that I was getting more and more of every time.
That's a cool one.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Because the story, I still remember it pretty well. I'm not gonna try and talk about it. I'm not gonna try and tell you everything that happened, but I remember it being like a little series in my head, and like at the time, and I still remember most of it, but at the time especially, it was like I was always thinking about it.
Yeah.
Cause like in my head, I was like, "Damn, man, what the fuck happens next?" And every time I wake up, I'd be like, "Oh, I might never dream about that again." You know what I mean? And still, now it's been like a year, and I haven't. It wasn't over. Whatever it was is not ended. Excuse me, but I don't know. I've had so many dreams like that. Like I've had multiple reoccurring dreams where like I dream a little story or something that is like happening, and then I wake up, and then a month later I have the same dream again, but it's a little more this time. I've got plenty, dude. I've had dreams like that where like fun happy fact of the for the podcast for anybody listening. My mother, I haven't seen my mother in like 13 years, and wait, yeah, in 13 years, yeah, fun fact, and super happy, and I've had like reoccurring dreams where, like, I see her again, and like it's like nothing had ever happened in the first place. Like she's just there, part of my life. But in my head, I know something's wrong. Like there's a reason. Like it's weird that she's there, you know. But in the context of the dream, situationally, she's never left.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but in my head, in the dream, something's off. I'm like, wait, you're not supposed to be. Something's off on this. And like I remember going through the dreams, and then waking up like, damn, what was that? Like, 'cause I'd have them all the time at one point, and now I haven't had one in years, like years and years. It's probably been 4 years since I had a dream about her. But excuse me. But for a long time there, like it was all I could dream about was like her and like her being around and it being normal. And I don't know what I'm a person that believes that your dreams are your subconscious trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like
I believe that too.
yeah, like I for a long time I was very pessimistic about it. I was like, dreams are just dreams. I was like, they don't mean anything. But the more that I got, like the more that I've looked into like how certain drugs affect your brain, and especially like psychedelics and shit, and how like a lot of psychedelics are just accessing your brain in a way that you're not used to. And that you have a lot of these drugs in your brain already, and sometimes your sleep activates them. So like in my head, I for a long time just thought like when you dream you're just imagining shit like randomly. But then I started having dreams that like really spoke to me about things happening in my life. And I was like, wait a second. This is definitely like these are trying to tell me something. It happens today. It happens all the time. Like this month specifically, I've had a lot of dreams where I was like, okay, I hear you, subconscious. Fuck off. Like, okay, I'll talk to this person, or I'll call that person, or I'll fucking stop thinking about this, or I'll try. And it's like, you know, I really do think that people like who have. It's weird because I know people who don't dream at all, like literally have no dreams ever, and that is so foreign to me, that idea. Because I always have dreams. If I sleep, I'm dreaming. Like always, my whole life. I've never slept. That's not true. Very rarely will I sleep and not dream at all, or at least not remember having a dream. You know what I mean? I'm very used to sleeping and dreaming. A majority of my dreams are about poker, and I hate it. 'Cause or streaming, and I hate that too. 'Cause what happens?
Hate it?
Because I'll wake up and think we're live, and I'm like,
Be like, I was like sleeping on the air.
well, no, I'll like wake up and think that I'm live talking from the bed, and I'll be like, when I sleep naked. I'm up under the covers. I'm like, oh, I don't have a shirt on. I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, see, I'm not even kidding. And it happens all the time because in my head, it's not my brain isn't ready, and I'm not fully awake, and I'm not thinking of things logically, and I'm constantly, like, every time I'm like, wait, no, I'm gonna get in trouble. They're gonna see my shirt. They're gonna see my shirt not being on. Like I look for the mouse, and then I look at my monitor and my computer's off, and I'm like, wait, And like like constantly every time I'll wake up and know in my head there's no way I'm streaming, but I still worry about it, and I'm like I might still be live right now.
That's how I do.
It happens
With-
all
with,
the time.
Excuse me. I think I've done like something really fucked up,
Yeah.
and then I'll like wake up thinking like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have to like deal with this, and then I'll be like, oh wait, that didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'll have dreams.
Dude, those are scary sometimes because I've had some. My dreams are very realistic,
Yeah.
and for like when that happens, like I get how like women like there's like the stereotype that like a woman will have like a bad dream about her husband or boyfriend and be mad at him. I get that because I've had dreams where like you did some dumb shit or my brother did some dumb shit or somebody I knew, and I was like,
You were
whoa,
pissed.
that happened. Like I would
Yeah.
remember the next day be like, bro, Creighton really said that to me. That's fucking I can't believe he said that. And it would eat me up, and then I'd be like, hey, and then you'd be like, what? And I'd be like, and then I'd think about it because you'd be acting normal, and it would be like a weird, like it would be like a day altering thing, like where like I would see you or be expecting to see you, and like if you saw me, you'd know I'd be upset with you, and it would be that kind of
See,
situation.
the fucked up thing is for you, like you don't see anybody else really. You know what I mean? So like you have no way of really knowing
Hey, cheeks.
if that happened or not. You know?
Yeah,
Because it's like you don't have that reality check of somebody coming by you and be like, oh hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or like living with somebody that's like just acting as if things are normal.
Exactly, and like it can really be fucked up when you don't only see someone once or twice a week,
Yeah. Just
And
like
that's-
that.
and
that
that's what it's
day-
like with me.
That day you didn't know that I had set up like us to do a thing with Coda,
Oh my
and
god,
you were fucking like pissed at
I
me.
was furious.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Because like you like started just blowing up my phone.
Bro,
like,
I was
how could
so
you do
mad. I was
this?
so mad. I was
And,
so mad. I
I
was so
like, What are you
mad.
talking about? And I was like, because you started like just saying a bunch of shit, and I was like, I was at work, and I was like, hold on. Give me
I had a
minute.
dream I got in a falling out with one of the guys that runs my poker game, like
Really?
a legit one, and I never would. Like I like both of the guys, and like I had a dream that we got into it like viscerally, like very
Yeah.
angrily, and like I was really scared to go back for like a whole day. I was like, bro, this is not gonna work. Like we both
Yeah.
have to be there, and it's just not gonna work if I'm there. Like I don't understand. I'm so, like I had to like psych myself into thinking it was a dream
Mhm.
and just being right about it. But I forgot. Like I couldn't remember if I was right. Like dude, my dreams are gonna get me fucked up one day. Like it really does like blow my mind. Is that a fucking mannequin? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the legs are Sheila, and this is Clyde. They're separate mannequins. But yes, hello cheeks. I don't know, man. Dreams are wild. They fuck me up. Like, I could do hours on dreams. I could talk about dreams forever.
Mhm.
Like, I have so many. I remember my earliest dream.
Really?
I remember the first time I remember dreaming.
Do you think there's anything spiritual involved with dreaming?
Maybe. I think if it's not our conscience, dreams might be the only way that people who aren't here anymore can talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had dreams about people who aren't alive anymore
Just talking to you?
just talking again. And, like, not just talking, but, like, telling me shit about my life that's happening now.
Yeah.
And I remember having those dreams of being like, whoa.
That's
What?
how that's
Like-
how my mom is. My mom had a bunch of dreams about my grandpa after he passed away, and
Mhm.
like it's like he was perfectly normal. He'd just come and sit down with her and talk with her and stuff. And like I've never personally. Well, I think I had a dream like that once maybe, but my mom had said it happened to her for like a long time, like years. Like
Yeah.
he would just come and visit her, and she could never remember really what they talked about. It's just like she felt like his presence and stuff. You know what I mean? And could like smell his cologne and stuff. And it was very, like, I could tell, like, you know what I mean? It was very real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the dream. But she just could never remember what they would talk about. And my grandma had the same thing happen to her a lot. And I don't know, like, if it just didn't happen to me and my brother a lot because we were so young or, like, how it is. But, I mean, I don't, like, dreams to me, like, Isaiah has talked about a lot about like how you can have outer body experiences while you're in a dream, and like it's very
Hey, Taylor.
it's very, I guess, difficult to be able to do that if you don't like fully believe in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I don't even know like how to explain it. To me, I feel like the dream is like an in between. Like it's definitely when you're in you is you. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I feel like there's things that can come into you like while you're dreaming and like interact with your with you unconsciously.
Yeah.
And then there's like elements of that like where you can like leave your body during a dream and do other stuff. You know?
Yeah, I've definitely had like third person dreams where
Mhm.
like I watch me do things.
Yeah.
I had a dream. I haven't had many people die in my life that I was like super super close with. Like
Mhm.
I'd say the closest was probably my great grandfather, and like we went hunting a bunch of times. I was in his wood shop with him a bunch when he was building stuff, but I didn't get to like spend a lot of time talking to him.
Mhm.
Before him though, I had an aunt who died. Her name was Stephanie, and she was my mother's brother's wife. Like I was only related to her because my uncle married her, you know.
Mhm.
And I met like she wasn't like a big part of my childhood, but I did see her a lot when I was a little kid, and talked to her a bunch of times, and it was cool. Like she was like I liked I loved her. She was still my aunt, and it was cool knowing her, and I liked her. You know, like she was a cool person. But
Yeah.
when she died, it had been probably 7 or 10 years since I'd seen her. It had been a long time since I saw her, you know? Or at least it felt like it. I really can't remember at this point when I don't even remember when she died. But it was like crazy, like when I was told she died 'cause she was so young when she died,
Mhm.
and I dreamed about her after she died a lot. Like, and I barely knew her. Like when she died, especially, it had been years since I'd seen her or even thought about her. And then when I found out she died, I had dreams about her and her 2 kids, my cousins, and all of the dreams were like them telling me about my mom
Mhm.
and like how they stayed there and how like because like we've at a certain point we found out that my mom was staying with them when she kind of like dipped, and it was weird because I don't want to say I didn't care when she died. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was I was really unaffected is all. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know her. Like I just didn't. It had been so long, and like as a little kid, you know somebody, and then from like 9 or 10 years old, you don't see them, and then when you're like 17 or 18, they die. It's like, you know, you don't really care about that kind of person. Like not like that you don't care about them, but like you're not really affected. Because I don't want to say I didn't care, because I hated hearing that she died and it sucked, but I just didn't. It didn't click in my brain as like a devastating thing to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But then when I found out she died, all of a sudden she's back in my life, in my head when I sleep, and she was there all the time, bro. I dreamed about her all the time.
Yeah.
I dreamed about her like we went to school together, and she was just there at lunch, hanging out, and I'd eat at lunch, and she'd sit there and talk to me about like my life, and like it was weird, and then it didn't happen with my great grandfather, which really felt weird because I almost was like excited about it.
Maybe she
Like, in a
just
weird
felt
way.
like she wanted to be closer to you in life. You
It's
know
going
what I mean?
good, Taylor.
So
I mean, I guess like that's the hope, right? Is that it was her.
yeah.
The hope is that this idea is potentially correct or in some way a real thing. But in my head, I don't know. Like,
Well, me and you definitely have different beliefs on that. You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Because you are definitely a religious person. I'm less so religious.
You're
I'm like
agnostic.
I'm
I feel like.
more spiritually
Yeah.
religious than I am like not spiritually like in terms of like Christianity, but like just spirit, like
yeah.
with like energy and like what could be out there. Like I believe there's something. I don't believe there's absolutely zero, literally nothing, period. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out. But
Stay tuned.
stay tuned, everybody. A couple decades. But I don't know. It's a weird topic. It's a weird
Yeah.
subject. It's not weird. It's just like there's so many places to go, and now I'm thinking about like all the different like when I think about my Aunt Stephanie
Mm-hmm.
not being here, it feels weird because I haven't really lost anybody. Like the closest people in my life that have died all played poker, like, and just died because they like one guy got like hit by a car and he died, and I knew him pretty well, and I knew a bunch of people that play poker really well that have died in the last like 2 years, and those deaths were like deaths, like people I knew and died, and I was like, whoa, what? And like, was really fucked up. But I haven't lost any like very close family members or friends, and I feel like I'm gonna be in for a wake up call whenever it finally does happen, and I'm not excited for it, but I am excited for the dreams. So if you die, Creighton,
I'll come and annoy you in your
come
dream.
annoy me in my dreams. I will relish in the fact. I would love that.
Are you ready to wrap?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one. We have to end this one early because Creighton has plans. But we love you guys, and I'm glad that we got to do a little
weekend
Saturday,
podcast.
little pop up stream, hour long, little quickie.
Mhm.
Get a quickie in. I mean, Creighton do every night, according to him.
We do.
Right. Anyway, we love you guys. For the few of you that tuned in and decided to be here, thank you for being here, and we'll be back Monday night.
Monday Night Football. But we're like gonna be Monday Night Talking. Possibly about
Good night, guys.